Hi Libra, welcome to your reading. And this is a reading for Libra Sun, Moon and Rising for November 2021. And keep in mind, Libra, that this is a general reading, so it might not resonate with all of you out there. And if it doesn't, feel free to check your other placements here in the channel as well. So Libra, as always, I already have your cards from the pre-shuffle, and we can jump straight into it. And we open up with the card that represents you, that represents your energy in this month. And we have the Page of Cups. Okay. I'm gonna tell you something, Libra. I usually feel something very positive from the Page of Cups, but I did pick up on a bit of a weird energy here with this page. I think that there are two aspects of this page this month, and it will be different for each one of you. So for some of you, you might just be a bit more dreamy, a bit more creative as well this month. But the most of you, actually, what I'm really picking up with this card is that you need to learn a bit of awareness regarding who do you offer your cup to. That's the thing. And I'm gonna tell you why I think this, okay? Why I think that this not so nice interpretation is what is actually going for most of you. Because I have been talking about this with all the other zodiacs. And we have the Sun in Scorpio. The Sun moved into Scorpio around a week ago. And now Mars already just made his way into Scorpio as well. And we'll have the new moon in Scorpio on the 4th of November. But Libra, Scorpio rules your second house. And what is the second house? The second house is our own personal values. Is what do we value? What is important to us? And this new moon will be exactly opposite to Uranus. And Uranus is now transiting your 8th house. And the 8th house is the house of other people's resources, is the house of the what we acquire through our union with someone else. Okay? So with all this activity going on in your second house, and especially with this new moon being connected with Uranus in an exact opposition to Uranus, I feel like your own personal values, how you see yourself, your self-image, what is important to you, this will come to the spotlight this month. And the Page of Cups, what he's doing is he's offering his cup of love. The Page of Cups is very connected with an offer of love, and this is coming from you. But the thing is, what is important to you? And that's why I think that for many of you, discernment regarding to whom you offer that cup will be a big theme this month. Okay? Because what you're offering to that person is your second house. The second house is what we possess, is what we build for ourselves. That's the second house. So when we offer something to someone, we are offering them that second house. And we just cannot go offering our second house to just anyone. There needs to be some discernment going on there. Right? And that's why I think that this will be a big theme for you here. Because when I first saw this page, I felt a certain naivety coming from him. He felt very naive to me, but not in a very good way. That's the thing. He is lacking that Virgo that is in the 12th house, and that is something that is important here because Virgo rules your 12th house, right? And the 12th house is a house that is hidden for us, is the house of the unconscious. So that Virgo in the 12th house cups gets a bit lost. It's hard for us to connect Virgo in our daily lives. It's hard for us to embody those Virgo qualities, especially if you're a Libra rising. but also if you are a Libra sun. It's hard to embody those qualities in our lives because it's very unconscious. It's very in the 12th house in there. But Virgo is where we learn discernment, is where we learn practicality. And the Page of Cups is not practical at all. The Page of Cups is actually ruled by Neptune. It's the opposite sign of Virgo, it's Pisces. He's very dreamy. He can be very idealistic. So he can be very creative. And I think that a big outlet for you here this month will be to focus on your creative capacities, because Libra is very creative. Oh my God, Libra is so creative. You are ruled by Venus. So it's not uncommon to see Libra people who can do some form of art. And I think that unless you are already in a stable, solid relationship, then that will not apply to you in this case here, and you might not feel this in your relationship at all. But especially if you are single, I would tell you that this is not a good month to find someone or to offer your love to someone because of this over idealistic characteristic here, and especially because you don't want to start something new with a new moon in Scorpio, honestly. Because whatever you start in there, you will just be paying karma. So a good outlet for you here with this Page of Cups will be to focus on creative, artistic goals and activities. Okay, because with the Page of Cups here in your energy, I feel two things: that you might either have some escapist tendencies this month, so through alcohol or other substances, or offering your love without discernment. So a good outlet here will be focus on artistic activities. Okay, Libra? Especially for those of you who are single, especially those. Now let's take a look at the environment, the card that represents the environment for you, and we have the High Priestess. Wow. Yeah, indeed. Another card of Pisces. So there is a lot of water and 12th house themes going on for you here. Okay, Libra? And with the High Priestess, I think that those escapist tendencies are even more important to be avoided this month. I would really avoid alcohol or any other substances this month, okay? Because the thing is, I feel like the environment is not very clear for you. You will not, I feel a bit of the moon card quality here as well. I think that the environment is not making a lot of sense, and I don't think you will understand a lot of the people around you. You will not be seeing them clearly. It will all be a bit foggy. So if you try to make decisions based on what you're seeing from people outside, I can tell you that you are probably not seeing the real deal. Okay? So just one thing to be warned about. Also, if you are thinking about, for instance, changing jobs, I would really avoid changing jobs now this month, because there is this quality of something being hidden from you. And I feel like you are so idealistic right now that you might not see it. You might think that everything is this big offer of happiness and love, and it's not really. So I would wait until Scorpio season is past for you to make big career changes as well, okay? I don't think that you are seeing the environment in the most realistic lenses right now, Libra. So let's take a look at your cards. We have the 10 of Wands in the reverse, we have the King of Cups, and the 5 of Swords in the reverse. Okay, that's interesting. Death in the reverse, Strength in the reverse, 5 of Cups, Queen of Cups in the reverse, 9 of Swords, and 9 of Wands in the reverse. Okay, both of them in the reverse. 9 of Swords and 9 of Wands in the reverse. Okay. Yeah, yes, Libra. I am very surprised and curious about this first row, but it's one thing that is interesting here is that your reading is a bit similar to the Virgo reading. So I would watch the Virgo reading as well to see if there's something there for you. But with the Virgo reading, I had this feeling that, and Virgo also got the High Priestess, but in their own position. So especially if you have a Virgo placement. But going back to your reading, what I'm finding curious here is that as Virgo, you also have a month that is a bit of ups and downs. You know, sometimes things will feel very easy and you feel like you have a lot of momentum to get things going, and then at other moments you will feel like it's crumbling down a little bit here, okay? And with the 10 of Wands in the reverse, I feel like there is a big side of you who wants to be this King of Cups. Actually, this is how I see this, because especially since you are coming up as the Page of Cups, I almost feel like you are aspiring to be that King of Cups. So I feel like you are aspiring to let go of certain burdens, of certain things in the past, to be this King of Cups. But the thing is, with the 10 of Wands in the reverse, I also feel like you might be putting off a work that needs to be done and then expecting that you are already reaching that King of Cups position. And I think that I think I talked about this with Leo as well, that Scorpio season would humble us down. Scorpio season does that. It humbles us down. Okay, because many times, especially if we feel low, if we feel down, if we feel insecure or sad, we tend to put this facade of optimism and confidence, you know, to try and convince ourselves of that. And that's not what Scorpio season is about. Scorpio season is actually about being humble and accepting that sometimes we are down. Sometimes things are shitty, and it's part of the human experience, and we go through it, and that's it. So with the 10 of Wands here in the reverse, I know that you want to be in that King of Cups position, but you are still a page here. And I think that it's important to accept for a moment that you are still in the page process, and that maturity, real maturity, will come with time. It will come with mistakes. It will come with making decisions and then facing the consequences of those decisions. And it's through that process that we become the King of Cups. We don't automatically become the King of Cups just because we want to. So even though you are in that Page of Cups energy here of being a bit naive, I think that it's part of your process in a way towards becoming that King of Cups. And that's why I said in the beginning that it's important to humble ourselves down, because the King of Cups, he is a humble king. All the kings, they learn to have humility through their journey. We only see their shadow when they are in their dark side. A reversed king here would be full of ego and pride and would avoid the work. But the King of Cups, the real King of Cups, the upright King of Cups, he has learned his lessons. But these lessons, they come with patience and with making mistakes and facing them and taking accountability for them. Even if that means that we are going to have our egos bruised. Because this is the thing. The King of Cups needs to have his ego shattered in order to become the King of Cups. The true King of Cups. So I think that there is a humbling experience, a humbling lesson going on for you here, Libra. And I think that it can be very painful to accept that we are not in control of everything that we want to be in control of. With this Strength card here in the reverse, next to the Death card in the reverse, and we are in Scorpio season. Scorpio rules the Death card. And you have that Uranus going through your 8th house, right? So the new moon will be getting your second 8th house axis, which are Taurus and Scorpio. Not avoiding transformation is a lesson here as well. Sometimes we need to lose. Sometimes we need to feel powerless. That's the thing. And it can be very humbling. It can be very painful. But there is always something that comes out of it. What I feel when I look at this 5 of Cups here, the image that is coming to me is that a man who had 5 cups, but in 3 cups, they had a spoiled drink or poison, okay? And then the water or the liquor, they were in those 2 other cups. And then the 3 cups that are spilled, they are actually the ones that contain the poison or the spoiled drink. And instead of the man seeing that by losing them, he's just filtering things out of his life that he doesn't need, he keeps on crying over them, avoiding to see that, no, actually he just filtered them out, because what he really needs are those 2 cups. The 2 cups with the real drink that he wanted to have. These, whatever was lost here, this is not really a loss. This is just a filtering process. It's just filtering what doesn't serve him from what serves him. But sometimes we are so connected with not wanting to let go of things and wanting to be in control and wanting to be in our pride. I had a very similar conversation with Leo. So if you have a Leo aspect, watch that reading as well, because there was a lot of similarities between yours and Leo's. But sometimes accepting that things cannot go our way and being humble about it is actually part of the lesson that we are learning. There's no reason to avoid the Death card here, because I think I also talked about it with them, but Saturn transits, a lot of people fear Saturn transits. I find that silly. I find that so silly, because Saturn, it's not that hard to deal with, to be honest. Especially if you are Saturnian in nature, if you have a strong Saturn in your chart, then you already know that good things come with time, effort, and discipline. It's just Saturn transit is not about punishing you. It's about making you grow up. It's about teaching you what it means to be an adult. Now, Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune transits, those are the tough ones, because those you cannot avoid. A Saturn transit you can be stubborn about. You can pretend that you don't want to grow up, and then you wait until Saturn hits your next placement. So sure, you can do that. You can delay a Saturn transit. But when Pluto, Uranus, or Neptune hits a personal planet or an angle in your natal chart, there is no way of escaping it, and fighting it will only delay the process and make you spend more energy, but in the end they will win. So there is no reason to avoid a death process, because the death process will happen whether you want it or not. The death is ruled by Pluto. So this is a transformation that will happen whether you resist it or not. You can resist a Saturn transit if you want. You cannot resist Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. So it is time to let go of that pride. It's time to allow yourself to be humbled by this experience. And here in the last row, we have that Queen of Cups in the reverse that connects me again with that page. And I feel like this Queen of Cups is connecting that strength in the reverse with that page of having the discernment to whom you offer your cup of love. Your self-worth, second house, right? In Scorpio, you have that second house in Scorpio, all those planets in Scorpio opposing Uranus in the 8th house. Second house is the house of your own values, of your self-worth. Your self-worth, the lesson here, your self-worth does not depend on other people. You can lose, you can be rejected, and still know your worth. And for that, it's important to connect with that Queen of Cups archetype. And that's also why I said in the beginning that you want to think that you are in the King of Cups energy, but you have a whole process to get there. You have to leave the Page of Cups, and then the Knight of Cups, then the Queen of Cups for you to become that King of Cups. But there is a process. And you are in that process. Okay, Libra, you are in that process. But it's not finished yet. And with the Queen of Cups here in the reverse, yeah, learning discernment to not offer your cup of love to just anyone is really important here. And when you learn about your own value and you learn that your value does not depend on other people, but you truly learn it, you internalize it. You don't need to tell this to other people, you know this for yourself. That's when the transformation really happens. And that's when you start valuing that Queen of Cups. That in you, that's when you start valuing that cup of love. Because if you can see it here, she's holding a cup, but it has a lid on. So she has her heart, she has the love, she's open to give it away, but not just yet, not without discernment and not to anyone. And I love that we are closing off your reading with the 9 and with the 9 of Swords and Wands in the reverse here, because it's when you learn these lessons, and I think that these lessons will really be catalyzed by this new moon and full moon in Scorpio. When you learn the lesson, it's when you can let go of fear, because both these cards are about fear. It's fear that we create in our minds and the fear that we create from past experiences. This is the anxiety attack. This is the PTSD. And they are both in the reverse. So it's when you disconnect, you release your own self-worth from how other people see you, that you actually release yourself from the fears that you have. Okay, Libra, so let's get a couple more cards for you to close off this reading. And I'm gonna first get an animal spirit for you, for us to take a look. What is the energy that you need to embody this month? What energy that can help you? Oh, wow, golden egg. See what I have been talking about. Wow. With the golden egg here, Libra, I think you need to realize what an amazing person you are. It's about that self-worth, right? If you realize what it is that you actually have to offer, you have the golden egg. And if you realize how valuable it is, first, you will not let other people's opinion put it down, but you will also not offer it to just anyone. For instance, let me give you an example. Imagine that you have this very expensive, very rare, this very rare, and I forgot the word. What is the word? Let's say that you have this very expensive and unique and very exclusive ring that you got from your grandma, for instance, and it has been in the family forever, and it's made of a very expensive stone, and it's just, it's very, very exclusive and expensive, okay? And you know its value. right? You know that it's made of gold and this very expensive stone, and yeah, you know its value, okay? Now let's say that someone sees you using it, but this person has no knowledge of stones at all. They absolutely cannot separate a plastic piece of from a emerald. And they see it in your hand and they say, wow, this ring looks like garbage, it's just a plastic piece of stone. Now, would that hurt you? Would that upset you? Or would you just laugh internally like, wow, this person has, they don't know BS, like they know nothing? And more than that, would you just go and give away this ring to just anyone on the street? You see someone passing and you give them this ring? No, right? Because you know what it's worth. You know it's worth. You know what it actually is. And I think it's time for you to realize that you, yourself, your heart, what your resources, what you have to offer in a relationship, in a job, is that ring, is this golden egg. Okay? And it's only when you realize that whenever you are treated like this, it's just laughable. But it is a process. I know you cannot just wake up and tell yourself, oh yeah, I am that ring. And then if you wake up every day, look in the mirror and say, I am that ring, that you will finally feel like that ring. I know it's not like that. But that's why I also said in the beginning, it's a process. You are in the process of becoming that King of Cups. But you also need to realize that you are still in the Page of Cups energy, and putting up a face and saying, oh, I am that king, right, with this Five of Swords in the reverse, and telling people, oh, I am that king, that doesn't make you closer to being that king. Okay, you need to live that king. But that king will come into reality with time. And let's get one more card for Libras. What do you need to let go of? One more thing that you need to let go of that can help you this month. Deep trust. Okay. And since I was asking what you need to let go of, I also think that you need to discern better who you trust. You know, it's about that cup of as well. Who are you trusting to give that cup to? Discernment with who you trust. Discernment with whom you open yourself with, okay? But also, since we have that card of lack of trust coming in the reverse here, it's only when you truly acknowledge your self-value that you will also release your trust issues, because then it's easier to trust the right people. Okay, but it's all this interconnected process of letting go of this and then absorbing and internalizing more of this. It's this complex process all happening together. Okay, Libra? So that's all I have for you this month, and I hope you enjoyed your reading. And if you liked it, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you next month. Take care. Bye-bye.